Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Biz with Johnno. We are here for our Thursday interview, although we have one later tonight, as usual, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, with the amazing Jamie Stefanovic joining me at 7 p.m. But to cater for my guest today, we are traveling to the United States of America to my first guest, Tony DeCorpo, who is in Ohio, the United States of America. We're chatting to Tony about his career. These interviews are just a little taste of the artists. So if you like them, please go over, follow them, and learn a little bit more about them and their music and their life. So we're going to learn a little bit more about Tony DeCorpo, and he's going to join us live and play a couple of live songs as well this morning and this evening if you're in the United States or Canada. So without further ado, let's get the man himself on. He loves coffee, so do I. And he's a singer-songwriter by the name of Tony DeCorpo. So let's get Tony on now. Hopefully he'll send me requests, or I will send him one. Either way, let's get this started. You one. Let's see if that worked.
Hey, Johnno.
And yes, the man himself, Tony DeCorpo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him onto The Biz with Johnno. Everything show business and all sorts of music genres. And today we're chatting to this lovely man who's self-proclaimed to be indie. Is it indie folk?
Yes, sir. Indie folk, Americana style, singer-songwriter. Mm-hmm.
Singer-songwriter extraordinaire. Okay, Tony, so you may have seen how this goes. Strap in. There'll be some questions and in between a couple of performances. So let us get strapped in. I want to learn a little bit more about this beautiful man that I discovered on Instagram, who's a wonderful musician, a really cool cat. Tony DeCorpo, tell us a little bit about your music career and when did that start? Because you've been doing this for a little while. You're experienced.
Yeah, I started back during college, which was quite a few years ago. And I really started writing probably in the early 90s. And I wrote for, a good 6 or 7 years. And I did some demos and I played out and things like that. And it progressively got more and more complicated. As you know, a lot of struggling musicians, you send out demos, you get rejected and all of that stuff. And soon enough, by the early 2000s, it just kind of became less and less of a priority for me to play and record. And so I really didn't do a lot for literally the last 20 years, just kind of sparingly. And back during quarantine 2020, I started getting reacquainted because I had a lot of things to do, or I had nothing to do, let's put it that way. And I started getting reacquainted again with my music and playing the guitar and kind of doing a little soul searching on what I was really missing. And I found out I really did love it. And so I kind of started my love affair again with music at that point. And so it's been a little over a year now of kind of getting back into the groove of things and learning to play again, because I really hadn't played that much over the years. And although you really never forget, you do get quite rusty. And so that's where I brought myself up to now. And I've really gotten to the point where I would love to continue to do this on a more professional basis as we move forward. So we'll see what happens. Definitely. I'm really into it.
I've got everything crossed for you, Tony. I think you're going to, and I think you should. You definitely should. My father did the same. He used to play professionally back when I was a child in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Like a little touring house band, they did their own music, they did covers, and then didn't do anything for probably the same amount of time until maybe 5, 6 years ago. More so through COVID, but then he sort of stopped. And then at COVID, he's written a couple of albums and recorded them, and it's like it's his outlet, and it's So I would just say, please keep going. We're all young at one stage, but we all get on and we all forget these amazing skills we've got. So please keep doing it. I can see that spark in you. And that's why I loved when I saw your Instagram profile.
Thank you.
You know, I was like, this guy's got a story, and I'm so glad that you're going to make music again. So yeah,
Yeah. So
all right.
basically, in the last couple of months, I've been working reworking some of the older material that I've done, and kind of bringing it up more to modern times. And
Yeah,
I look at it this way, you know, having 20 some years experience on top of all that writing now, just on life, it's a little bit easier to write because of all the experience. And so I've written quite a few new songs, been working on a lot of things, and I should have about 10 to 12 songs or so done in the next 2 months.
bloody hell.
Yeah, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put it all up on Spotify and some of the other streaming platforms. So there'll be a lot of things that are going to be available at
Good,
that point. But right now, what you
good.
got is Instagram and some of my performance videos on there.
No, they're all platforms to use and get you out there in front of people.
Yeah.
And like I say to everybody, you know, once music's released or if an artist releases it, let me know. I like to put it on my Spotify playlist and I play it wherever I'm about and go. I always try and direct people to go there on my Spotify. It's the same at The Biz with Johnno. And if you hear an artist that you like, play them. And also, Tony, it's about, I mean, I've got people over there in the United States and Canada that have connected to some of my artists that I've had on here that I've interviewed, and they connect, they bounce off each other with ideas, and it's just, and that's what I like about this. It's building a community, and that's what it's about. It's not about me as much. It's about you guys. So, and I love finding out. So, next question.
Yes.
And I had to sort of, because I haven't heard this word in a long time, but you describe yourself as a troubadour, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Troubadour.
Troubadour.
What is one of those for anyone that didn't know?
Troubadours were lyrical poets back in the 12th and 13th century, and they basically sang for royalty. That was what they did. And back during the whole folk era in the 60s and the 70s, a lot of the songwriters back then, they were calling troubadours. And that's kind of what I patterned a lot of my writing off of, is that old style of writing, but kind of with a little modern flavor now. But that's what a troubadour is, and that's what I call myself.
It's a great word. I like saying it, troubadour.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the local scene like where you are? Are you in Ohio?
I'm in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's it like there?
Well, for indie musicians, I'm just starting to figure a lot of that out now. So trying to get back out into doing things into the community, and it is kind of difficult. So I do have my day job that I work in, and so you know things get kind of tricky there. And incidentally, my day job is I am a coffee roaster and coffee guy, and that's what I do. That's the name of the place is actually called Troubadour. So
wow,
I kind of tied the two together there.
That's awesome. I'd love to come and have a coffee in Troubadour if I was ever over in Ohio. Yeah. I do want to travel America even more again at some point, so you never know.
Yeah, never know. Welcome here anytime.
Thank you, Tony. Okay, if I look, let's just imagine that in the future there was a Tony DeCorpo gig. And, we were selling tickets. Maybe it was at the local coffee house. Maybe it was a local bar, or maybe bigger. If someone was to come along and they bought a ticket, what would they expect from perhaps a Tony DeCorpo performance?
Well, it would be just me and my guitar, maybe an accompaniment. I tend to like to play solo when I do play. I think it just kind of, it brings everything out of me when I'm playing. But they would enjoy an evening of my dry dad jokes, even though I'm not a dad, as well as as well as good music, good sounding music. Mm-hmm.
I like that, Tony. Well, look, that's a nice segue into I think your first performance. So I'm going to turn my light off, and if you could just then introduce yourself and the song that you're about to perform. Tony DeCorpo, it's over to you.
Okay. So I'm Tony DeCorpo, and the song is called Life Goes On. Walk up to the edge of the curve, but both ways life goes on. Worked all day and go. Night falls, life goes on. Life goes on, baby. Life goes on. Don't look back, 'cause baby, life goes on. We think about who's might have been. Who knows that life goes on. When all's said and the day's done, night comes, life goes on. Life goes on, baby. Life goes on. Don't look back, 'cause baby, life goes on. Some days you think you're at the end of the road, but it's just another choice of which mountain to climb. Life goes on, baby. Life goes on. Don't look back, 'cause baby, life goes on. Don't look back, 'cause baby, life goes on.
Tony DeCorpo, Life Goes On. Amazing track. Original
Yes,
song there.
Yes, sir.
Fabulous little track. Very
Thank you.
catchy. I found myself tapping away here in my chair. Brilliant. I can imagine
that means
myself.
You got the rhythm.
Yeah, tapping away and sort of like just going with the flow. As you can tell, I've got a little gravelly voice. I'm just getting over a bit of a cold. Not COVID.
Right.
I've had my jabs, but so I was trying to sing along there, but my voice is cracked. Tony, fabulous first performance. Loved that. That's is that available on all great platforms, or it will be?
It will be, yeah. Yeah, it will be. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. I want to know who your musical influences were when you were growing up. You know, back in the 90s, and even now, who would your your influences be?
Well, they pretty much have stayed the same. My biggest musical influence as a singer was always Elvis. Probably the greatest entertainer that ever lived, and to me,
Yes.
he was like my singing idol.
Yeah.
Songwriting, I have two main influences, and in no particular order. Jimmy Buffett, the king of trop rock, but
Yes.
also a very, very talented singer-songwriter dating back all the way to the 60s. There's a lot of musical history in that catalog. And I learned a lot about writing from listening to a lot of his music and the way that he puts it, the stories into action. And the other one, my main influence is Gordon Lightfoot. And he's more of the old-time troubadour. And his music it reaches so far down sometimes into the soul that you feel like you're so connected to that song when you listen to it. And I wanted to be able to write good and clever songs like both of those talented songwriters did. And I think I have a lot of that I show a lot of that in the music. I have had some people that have said that to me before without me ever telling them. So I think it works.
Gordon Lightfoot, Jimmy Buffett, and Elvis Presley. What a trio that would make, eh?
Yeah, right.
Great influences there. Okay. Where do you draw your inspiration from when you're writing a song?
A lot of it comes from personal experience, whether it was recent or a long time ago.
Yeah.
Some of it is a derivative of a story or something I may have heard at some time, whether it's about a specific person or a specific situation. Sometimes as writers, we tend to listen to a lot of things and then kind of reorganize them into a different flow or into a different form. Not so that it's different, but that it tells a story, but sometimes from a little different perspective. And I think most of my inspiration comes from personal experience.
Great. I love that. I love everyone's experience and story through their music. And this is why I love chatting to people. Now, I ask everybody this, and everyone knows it's a bog standard Johnno question. But there's no right or wrong answer, and it means something different to everybody. But what does music mean to you now?
It's like my happy place, my solace. I can go there and I don't have to worry about anything, because whether I'm listening to it or writing it, it puts me into a state of mind that I'm not normally in a normal situation, like an everyday type of situation. Yeah. So it's very relaxing to me, and I find a lot of solace in there.
Oh, I love that answer, Tony. Beautiful. Okay. I want to know, how can people support Tony DeCorpo right now? Where can they follow you?
Instagram, that's my main area right now, my main platform. I also have a YouTube channel, and they could also buy my coffee. A lot of the stuff, there's a couple of links there in my my profile on Instagram. If people follow, they can go into the link tree, and there's a couple of different links in there. And then when the material does come out on the streaming platforms, of course, they'll be announced on there, and the links will also be updated as such.
Yeah. So there are new projects coming in the pipeline.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and you're going to have those songs released. You said maybe, did you say like 20 songs or something in the next?
Right now, I've got about 12 that 12, are definite. Okay. I do have a lot more than even 20. I've been digging through a lot of the older stuff and trying to rework it and see what we can do with that. And then once the initial probably 10 to 12 songs are released, it will be kind of like an album format. Once those are released, I'm going to slowly release the other songs about every month or so, a new song, so that it kind of just keeps things going in the upward direction to try and build that catalog online.
Nice. Now we're going to have another song in a moment, but this is a very serious question. Okay. If you were to describe yourself as a style or type of coffee, what would you be and why? I would be what you call an Americano. So I like a little bit of milk in mine, not too much. Mostly I like that flavor of coffee with a bit of milk, not too much, but there we go.
Well, I'm pretty hardcore when it comes to coffee, and a lot of my customers that I actually saw pop up on the feed here coming into the room will know that I'm pretty serious when it comes to coffee. So I would describe myself as a single origin, light roast, black coffee. That's exactly.
Oh, a nice black coffee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
sugar?
It's got to be
no
good
sugar,
coffee. Got to be good coffee.
Do you have sweetener or sugar or anything like that?
Nope, you won't need
just
it.
Just nice.
Yep, you won't need it with my.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. Beautiful. Yeah. That's it. Smooth as well, Tony. Smooth. Exactly. That's because you are smooth. Tony, we have time for another song, so I'd love to hear it. Again, yeah, sure. I will turn down my light, and I'll let you introduce yourself in the song.
Okay. Again, I'm Tony DeCorpo. This song is called Now's the Time. I wrote this about 20 years ago, and it basically tells a story of how I felt at the time with a lot of the rejections that I got from record labels, and what was going through my mind, hoping that things would get better. So it's called Now's the Time. I got this feeling in my mind. Oh, I've been doing much with my time. Money's running low. Got nowhere to go. I never thought I would feel so empty inside, but it's blatantly real. Well, I'm basically the same guy oh so long ago. A singer and a sailor at heart, finding a fresh new start. Finding a reason to rhyme, 'cause now's the time. I met a guy who's been down here, wrote his dreams in Memphis, where his folks run around. Live from town to town. Played his songs in clubs and bars, but he never really became a big star. Well, I'm basically the same guy I was so long ago. A singer and a sailor at heart, finding a fresh new start, finding a reason to rhyme, 'cause now's the time. Yeah, basically the same guy oh so long ago. A singer and a sailor at heart, finding a fresh new start, finding a reason to rhyme, 'cause now's the time.
That was Now Is the Time by Tony DeCorpo, one of many songs that are going to be released very, very soon back on Spotify, bringing them into the modern day. Tony DeCorpo, that's been amazing. Thank you for joining me and letting us discover a little bit more about you. No problem. Will you keep me up to date with what you're doing, Tony, and when the music's out so I can sort of, you know, let everybody know?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. I want to add it to my Spotify playlist, and look, if I can support you, if there's any songs on there that I can download on iTunes, then I will do.
I definitely will, yes.
Tony, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for staying up and coming on this little platform.
It's been a joy. I appreciate the opportunity, Johnno. Thank you.
Oh, bless you. You're such a lovely man. I just want to give you a big man hug and say, you know, thank you for doing what you're doing. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Guys, if you're watching this live, it's been Tony DeCorpo just down there and on the Biz with Johnno. And if you're watching this back, well, too bad you missed out on a live. But now you're not missing out because you're watching it again. So thank you for that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Tony DeCorpo.
Thank you, Johnno.
Go follow Tony, everybody. Let's support musicians in this time. So thanks, Tony. Let's chat soon. And look, I'm always here for a chat if you need, or any ideas you want to bounce off. So let me know.
Okay. Thanks. Have a great day.
Thanks, Tony. You too. I will.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. What a great guy. Talking of great guys, next guest is on at 7 p.m. AEST time, and that is Jamie Stefanovic, a young lad that is doing some great things with a guitar and his singing voice. Yes, please come back at 7 p.m. this evening and join us for another live performance and chat with Jamie Stefanovic. Thank you to Tony DeCorpo in Ohio, the United States of America, for staying up and joining us and chatting about some of the musical influences he's grown up with and that inspires him to write and perform. We're back tonight with Jamie, and coming soon, a handful of other special, very special guests even. Get the words in. Probably I need one of those coffees Tony's talking about. Okay, we'll see you then. Enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of your afternoon. Cheers.